How did you know that this should be the right opening for the game?
So the beginning of the game took quite a bit of trial and error to get really right. Like actually the final form that you see came very, very late in production. It was almost one of the last thing. Like for example, originally the first cutscene on the rooftop with Mael was immediately followed by the cutscene with Sophie, and you didn't have this part where you run on the rooftop and you have the Mael jewel and everything. This came super late just because we had some issues with spacing at the beginning. So like all the scenes by themselves were there since the beginning, like the scene with Miles and Sophie's and the Gommage, then the Expedition Festival. But the way they are like put in the game changed quite drastically. Also to avoid having like a lot of cutscenes, like just chilling together at the beginning. Like even all the NPCs in Lumiere were added very, very late. A mix of gameplay and dialogues and even quests that follow the players up until the end of the game in Act 3. So it was really hard to find the right pacing for the intro. Took a lot of trials and tests and play tests, but eventually we ended up with what we have today.
I think one of the things that I really love when we go to the harbor, the whole scene changed in terms of the lighting changed. How do you kind of like feel about playing with lighting to enhance a vision or the scene of the game?
Yeah, it's basically one of the first things I do when I create a cutscene. Is find the lighting for the cutscene, because sometimes you have cutscenes that just take place exactly in the same environment. So like we always create like specific lighting for a cutscene anyway. Sometimes it's just like adapting to make it look better than the environment by itself. Two first thing I usually do when I create a scene, and I know that everybody works differently, but for me it's creating a lighting like just transmits the mood we want, and also put the music, like even if it's not the final music, you just get a sense of the tone and the rhythm, and then from there like I do all the cameras and everything. I'm very, very sensitive to colors and colorimetry and cinematography, so like setting the right kind of lighting helps tremendously and can carry the emotion, I think, very hard at the same level as let's say the acting and the music. Lighting is just so incredibly important. Internally, we are so used to seeing it that, like when the Gommage happens, we are all like, whatever. The first response, like the emotional response from the players to the cutscene with Sophie and Gustave was just so strong, because we kind of rediscovered the game with the players, where we are just like, okay, so it works, it makes people cry like it was originally intended, but we were so used to seeing it and seeing it more like the technical issues and everything that just rediscovering our games through the lens of new players felt really, really wonderful.